Good evening, I'm Roger, and this is NFL Trending, where we break down the biggest stories shaping football headlines. Tonight, we turn our attention to a developing story out of Boulder, Colorado, one that's sending ripples through the college football world and raising questions about the future of players, coaches, and programs alike. The headline is simple but powerful. A fired Colorado Buffaloes coach is being credited with keeping quarterback Ryan Staub in Boulder after Shedeur Sanders' high-profile transfer to the University of Colorado. This situation may look like just another roster decision on the surface, but when you dig deeper, it reveals a complicated mix of loyalty, opportunity, and the constantly shifting dynamics of college football in the new era of the transfer portal and NIL. Let's begin by setting the stage. When Deion, Coach Prime, Sanders arrived in Boulder in late 2022, he brought with him a tidal wave of change. A roster overhaul unlike anything college football had seen before took place. Dozens of players transferred out, and a wave of new talent, many handpicked by Sanders and his staff, arrived. Among those newcomers was his son, Shedeur Sanders, the star quarterback transferring in from Jackson State. With Shedeur taking over as the undisputed starter, most observers assumed that Colorado's quarterback room would be set, leaving little room for other names to make much noise. That's where Ryan Staub enters the story. Staub, a young quarterback who signed with Colorado before the Sanders era began, suddenly found himself in a precarious spot. The arrival of Shedeur essentially blocked his path to the starting role, and in today's college football landscape, most players in that position immediately look to the transfer portal for a fresh start. But here's the twist: Staub stayed. And according to multiple reports, the reason he stayed is tied to a coach who isn't even with the program anymore. That coach, whose identity has been widely reported but is not officially confirmed by the university, was part of Colorado's previous staff. Despite knowing his own tenure with the Buffs was on shaky ground, he reportedly encouraged Staub to remain in Boulder. Why? Because he believed Staub had the tools, the talent, and the resilience to eventually compete for playing time, even if it meant sitting behind Shedeur Sanders for the foreseeable future. For Staub, it was a decision that required patience and perspective. In an age when players can transfer multiple times and chase immediate playing opportunities, sticking it out at Colorado was a gamble. Yet here we are, with Staub still in Boulder, gaining valuable experience and practice, learning from the new system, and positioning himself as a possible successor once Shedeur makes the jump to the NFL. The layers of this story run deep. On one hand, it speaks to the influence of coaches who, even on their way out the door, continue to shape the futures of their players. Coaching isn't just about drawing up plays, it's about mentorship, trust, and guidance, even when circumstances change. For this particular coach, guiding Staub to stay wasn't about personal gain, but rather about doing what he felt was best for a young quarterback's long-term career. On the other hand, this story highlights the unique challenges that come with being a college quarterback in today's game. The transfer portal has created unprecedented movement, and while it has opened doors for countless players, it has also created pressure to leave situations quickly rather than develop over time. For Ryan Staub, choosing to stay is a rare example of loyalty and patience in an environment where both qualities are increasingly hard to find. And of course, we can't overlook the role of Shedeur Sanders in this equation. As the son of Coach Prime and the face of Colorado's football renaissance, Shedeur's presence all but guarantees that the starting quarterback spot will be locked down until he departs for the NFL. That could be as soon as next spring. For Staub, that means waiting, preparing, and capitalizing on opportunities whenever they come, whether that's in mop-up duty, in spring practices, or in the event of an unexpected opening. For the Buffaloes program, Staub's decision to remain in Boulder may end up paying dividends. Stability in the quarterback room is crucial, especially when your starter is a likely NFL prospect who could leave sooner rather than later. Having a player like Staub in the pipeline means Colorado won't be starting from scratch when Shedeur eventually departs. Instead, they'll have someone who knows the system, has built chemistry with teammates, and has demonstrated a willingness to put the team before himself. Zooming out, this story reflects the larger state of college football. With the combination of nil deals, the transfer portal, and constant coaching turnover, loyalty is rare. Players are making decisions not only based on playing time, but also financial opportunities, brand exposure, and personal connections. In that context, Ryan Staub's decision to stay put, influenced by a coach no longer with the program, feels almost old-fashioned, a reminder of the days when sitting and learning was part of the process for quarterbacks. Fans in Boulder are already taking notice. On social media, Staub has been praised for his commitment and work ethic, even though he has yet to see significant playing time. Teammates, too, reportedly respect his quiet leadership and dedication to improving behind the scenes. While he may not be the headline name right now, his role in Colorado's future could be far bigger than most people realize. As for the coach who convinced him to stay, this story raises a question. How often do we underestimate the influence of coaches once they're out of the spotlight? In the high-stakes world of college football, assistants and position coaches often forge the closest relationships with players. When those coaches leave, whether by firing, resignation, or new opportunity, their impact doesn't just disappear. In Staub's case, that influence may have altered the trajectory of his career entirely. Looking ahead, the Colorado Buffaloes will continue to be one of the most closely watched programs in all of college football. With Shedeur Sanders at the helm, every move, every roster decision, and every storyline is magnified. The presence of Shedeur Sanders gives Colorado instant star power, but it's the quieter stories, like Ryan Staub's patience, that reveal the depth of what's happening in Boulder. For Staub, the future is wide open. If he continues to develop and stays the course, he could very well become the next starting quarterback for Colorado once Shedeur heads to the NFL. And if that happens, this decision to stay, encouraged by a coach no longer even employed by the university, will be remembered as a pivotal moment in his journey. So tonight, as we look at the state of college football and the constant churn of players and coaches, Ryan Staub's story stands out. It's about loyalty in an age of movement, mentorship in an era of uncertainty, and the reminder that sometimes the best decision isn't the easiest one. I'm Roger, and this has been NFL Trending. Stay with us as we continue to bring you the latest stories shaping the game we love.